Hello, and welcome to That's What I'm Trying to Tell You, the podcast where women from different generations sit down to share their unique perspectives on life, current events, and everything in between. So join us as we navigate through topics with laughter, a little wisdom, and a whole lot of authenticity. So there was another Subway Takes episode that kind of resonated with us, and it is this woman talking about how there should be paid leave for when women are on their periods for 2 days a month. And the episode goes on and he's like, well, what if she's like, of course there's going to be certain people who are like, I don't need it. But she's like, okay, then just don't use it then. But I thought that's a great idea. And I looked in the comments and was it Nairobi and another, not Kenya, but another African country that just said, yeah, our legislation just passed and this is actually law in our country now. I think it's great. And I also remember a long time ago, there was an article, there's a Japanese department store and the women wear little badges to signify that they're on their periods, which I thought was a little bit revealing, but I think it's kind of nice because people know kind of what you're going through, but I don't know how that fares with your male coworkers, but I think it's totally necessary and I would love to have that because for anyone who has female friends, family members, you have probably experienced somebody going through PMS or bad cramps and all of that. It's not for the faint of heart. What do you guys think?
I totally think it's a great idea. I mean, it's the same thing that happened, before they didn't give fathers maternity leave. And I always thought, like, you let her off, but she's supposed to also rest. Some women are recuperating from having a procedure that they had during, pregnancy, whether it was a C-section or an episiotomy. They need some help with the baby. So finally, they give fathers, maternity leave. But I think it's they're giving mental health days.
Yeah. I mean,
Now?
there's unlimited paid time off, right? Which really is not unlimited, but you can use it for whatever you need it for. So why not? Yeah. And it's it's a medical, physical thing that's going on with somebody's body. So
Now, what I
yeah.
don't think and what I fear would happen, but it should be illegal, is if you have a jerk for a manager who says, "Oh, well, are you really?" And they're calculating or following your cycle, which
Yeah.
they should not be able to do. But you have some
You get into the weeds
jerky
with that.
managers out there.
You do. Manager, that's a side note. Manager to me is like the worst job in the world, but I won't even go into that.
I don't know why anybody would want to be in charge.
Yeah, yeah.
I
I mean, I
don't.
get why you would, the pay and maybe some people need a sense of authority at work, but we won't even go into that.
No,
But
that's
yeah,
not what we're
but
talking about.
also FMLA, that's another type of leave that you can take. It's called family and medical leave, and there's a whole bunch of reasons. You can even have like an elderly parent you have to take care of and take time off and do that, but medical condition, all of that. So leave in all kinds of forms exists. I know that, but I like to romanticize like the European healthcare system. Like it seems so great. They don't, they get money back when they go to the doctor. It's socialized.
They give people time off when they have kids.
Like years off.
Yeah.
But is it really that, I feel like we're in the dark ages here in America, not to again be another one of the people criticizing the American healthcare system, but I think we need to get with the times with certain things, because life happens. Life be lifing.
Right, that's right. And, all women have to go through this. And it's something that just keeps recurring. I mean, I was lucky enough that, I had friends that were wiped out, were just completely debilitated for a certain number of days every month. And I was lucky I was never in that state. But there certainly were times where you kind of feel like your insides are being sucked out by a vacuum,
Yeah.
right? And you would just like to be able to lie down. Yeah, just be able to lie down with a heating pad would be amazing. And I mean, how productive are you at work when you're focused on, well, not focused, but your attention is being drawn away by this thing.
Excruciating pain.
Yeah, I mean, I think
Somebody's telling you to keep up with your production, or
Right,
you
right.
offer I can't take off tomorrow because I only have so many days left.
Yeah.
All of that.
Right. And if you're in a job that requires you to be on your feet, that's just a misery. But yeah, I agree that we have to move into modern times and accept that there are lots of women in the workforce now. So give them a couple of days off. And if people don't need it, they don't have to take it.
Absolutely.
But I would not want to wear a badge saying I was on my period. No,
Yeah.
that's just another step too far. I
Mhm.
would not want to do that. I just, when you made that comment about European healthcare and their labor practices, and I was driving with a cousin-in-law who's Italian. And well, we were in Italy and we were driving, and he started asking me about what the maternity leave was. And I was like, what maternity leave?
Right.
I mean, 3 weeks after I had my baby, I had my boss calling me up going, so when are you coming back to work?
Jesus.
Really?
Yep.
What?
No, thank you.
That's crazy.
And he was like, oh yeah, they get 3-4 months off. I mean, that's even considered, I guess, sort of conservative in Europe, right? Because some people get years.
Yeah,
Like they get
France is
1 or
like
2
years.
years.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know how it works like with the fathers, whether you can trade off.
Mm-hmm.
That would be ideal, right? Is if the mothers get 2 years and then the fathers get 2 years,
Yes.
and then you're able to stay with your kid till they go to school,
Mm-hmm.
which would be amazingly beautiful.
I don't think people realize like the time. I'll just say this. The older I get and the more I work in a full-time position, the concept of like I'm actually exchanging my life hours for monetary compensation. My time is precious, and so if I'm sick, which is not often, or I don't feel well, it's nice to be able to have that peace of mind and that option from my employer, at least the grace, I guess I could say, from my employer. Like, you're not employing robots, you're employing people. People go through things, people need rest. It's not that people shouldn't work. This is not what I'm saying. Go be lazy, just work, 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 or show that you are a productive member of society. But people need rest. Like you said, Kat, how productive are you when you are fried? A lot of people experience burnout after years on a job. You need rest. You need time to recharge. And usually, with rest, you come back stronger, better, able to do more productive work. So,
Isn't that why I think, isn't it Google where they can play a hacky sack and have cereal bars and you can go into the quiet room and do some meditation or put a weighted blanket on you?
well, that was the startup boom, right? People were like,
Right.
yeah, I work for a startup. It's like, oh, basically you get carte blanche. Like you go to work and they entertain you. What are you doing there? It's like a vacation almost to go to a company like that. But yeah, just a little bit of, I guess it's like recognition. I don't know.
It's grace. I mean,
Yeah.
during COVID, so many people were still productive, working from home,
Right.
perhaps with a child in their lap
Mhm.
or somebody in the background pouring cereal, but nevertheless, they were at their computers or at their computers doing their jobs.
You say that, it's funny, there's a company, and I can't think of the name, of course, it starts with an M. I think they're in the Midwest, but the CEO, he started a policy where mothers can bring their babies in. He said, "We just started." The motto is like, "Test the experiment," or something like that. That's probably wrong, but it's along the lines of that, and he said, "We just tried it. Like, we'll do one baby, and then another woman will bring in another baby," and now they're on, like, their 15th baby in this test the experiment phase of people bringing in their kids, and it's perfectly seems to be working fine. Like they did video inside the office, and there's women literally with the toddler on their lap, and they're on the phone at the computer,
I'm going to
living
raise
life.
my hand. I am so honestly blessed to say this, but I was at a group home
Mhm.
and I was fortunate enough to take 5 months off after I had you, and I was breastfeeding. And because of our schedules, I asked my employer, and I was afraid to do it, but I said, I'm just going to wing it. If I have to quit, I'll quit the job. They let me bring you in.
Mm.
It was 3 days a week, and we had a crib in our office, and I would stop and go pump, and you were in the office, and it worked. And that is exactly what happened. It was good for people. You know what I mean? It was good for other people. They would take their breaks and come and play with you.
Mm.
It was a foster care agency, and the kids were able to come and they would wash their hands and they would play with you. I didn't let them hold you, but they would play with you. But
Mm.
it is healing.
Very.
I feel the same way about bringing your pets to work. I think it would be
Yeah.
great if you could have your pet with you. You know what I mean? On your lunch break, I'm going to go walk my dog. The comforts of being productive. You need to be comfortable in order to be productive.
Absolutely.
I mean, I think one of the best things that came out of COVID was for employers to actually realize that people could be productive working from home.
Yes.
And that, as things shifted and more people then had to return to the office, but if need be, they can take time and work at home. They don't have to take the day off. They don't have to lose pay. If something comes up and they lose their childcare or what have you, that's the greatest thing that people, that employers can realize that this flexibility is a positive thing.
Absolutely. Schedule and all of that. So I guess this is a PSA to all the employers out there. Let your people have flexible work schedules and lives because they need it, and you will still meet your quotas.
And you need
and
it.
make money.
Happy workers are going to do a better job for you in the end.
Well,
right?
is that saying happy wife, happy life,
Yeah,
happy employee,
right. That's right.
happy employer?
Hey everyone, and thanks for tuning in to another episode. If you enjoyed what you heard, please follow, comment, and reach out on our socials. Also, leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts. If you resonated with anything in the episode, be it products or topics, make sure to check the show notes for additional information, or shoot us an email if you like. See you next time.